Santa Barbara's warm weather and blue skies are reasons many of us live here. But our climate does pose a problem when it comes to water use. Up next, City TV's Daria Baxter takes a look at the city's water sources and what steps we can all take to conserve this precious resource.
With the exception of a few late-season storms, this has been a very dry year in Santa Barbara. Our average annual rainfall is 18 inches, but this year we've only received 11 so far.
We do live in a semi-arid climate that is subject to drought, and so actually all of our water supply planning is really built around planning for drought. As soon as Cachuma stops spilling, we assume from the water supply perspective that we're heading into a new drought. So all of our actions, unless it's actively raining and the reservoir is filling, we assume that we're moving into a drought, and we ask people to use water accordingly. So this has been a pretty dry winter, and it's interesting because when it's been fairly dry, people tend to use more water because their gardens need more landscape. It's a good time to remember it's important to conserve. This might be the first of several dry winters, and so by being careful now and always, it helps us so that when we get into the 5th or 6th year of drought, we still can rely on our local supplies.
Lake Cachuma, our largest water supply, is just one of many local sources our city relies on to meet our water needs. Groundwater, recycled water, state water, Gibraltar Reservoir, and a desalination plant are also key sources. Connected to our city by Mission Tunnel, Gibraltar Dam is a vital water source.
Work on Gibraltar Dam began over 100 years ago, and for the last 90 years, Gibraltar served us as a key water source. And during that time, we've developed a lot of different strategies to make sure that this will be a continued source of water for the city and also other cities that we're in partnership with. Since 1920, we started off with an original capacity with over 14,000 acre-feet of water. Since then, we've had to deal with reductions in capacity due to siltation. The Zaka fire in 2007 had a serious impact on our capacity. We estimate that roughly 10 feet of silt entered the reservoir and reduced its capacity by 20%.
Although Gibraltar is not at its original capacity, it still provides our city with 4,600 acre-feet each year. It is clearly an important asset, allowing the city to meet our residents' water needs.
We draw water from Gibraltar at different times depending on the water quality, the amount of water. A lot goes into this decision making on when we utilize this resource. Some of that involves, of course, the level of the lake, the turbidity of the water, so how much treatment it will take to make the water to the high standards that we have.
Because Santa Barbara is prone to drought, it is important to have other sources of water in case Gibraltar Reservoir and Lake Cachuma cannot provide enough during an extended dry period.
We also have a desal plant, and it's not been used since the early 1990s, and we hope that it will stay in that state for a long time. But it's a great drought insurance policy because in the event that we need another water supply, it is available. And we're connected to the State Water Project. And actually being connected to the State Water Project gives us a lot of flexibility because it basically means we're connected to water supplies throughout the rest of the state. Even though we don't have water rights, if we get into a period of shortage, we have the opportunity to look for water to purchase from other areas.
Santa Barbara's many varied water sources and water conservation together meet our water supply needs. If we all do our part, we will have water in both wet years and dry times.
We do water conservation all the time. Water conservation is something that whether it's a wet year or dry year, the city relies on water conservation to get us through dry periods. There are many benefits to water conservation, including saving money and time, keeping your landscape beautiful, and protecting the environment. There are so many opportunities for water conservation that the city has, and we really encourage you to call us and have us come out so we can just assist you in helping customize what those benefits could be for your home and landscape. For the most part, we're counting on the types of water conservation that so many of our customers have been doing for so long, and we're really grateful for how much Santa Barbara has done for water conservation. Our water customers have really taken great measures to save so much water, and we can all continue to do that and make a difference.
To take advantage of all the city has to offer for water conservation and to help do your part to conserve this limited resource, visit SaveWaterSB.org.